Government has reconstituted the 7-member Interim Governing Council for the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology following the declaration of strike by lecturers at the university. On the back of the dissolution of the university's council, the KNUST branch of the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, last week declared an indefinite strike. It consequently reviewed the membership of the Interim Council to include a representative each from UTAG and the Teachers and Education Workers Union TEWO on the 7-member Interim Council. We go live to Kumasi now to join our colleague Erastus Asari Donko on a demonstration by TEWO this morning. Erastus, if you can hear me, bring us up to speed. What's been happening?
Well, so after the dissolution of the council, members of the University Teachers Association, KNUST local, held a meeting at which they initiated a strike, and on top of it also announced that they were going to, in collaboration with FUSAG, GAWA, TEWO, and themselves, embark on a massive demonstration this morning through the streets of KNUST. But as we're seeing this morning, we are not seeing members of the University Teachers Association of Ghana. What we are seeing here are members of the Tertiary Educational Workers Union, TEWO, who have gathered here. A number of them are security personnel employed on campus, the local security. Some of them are educational workers here as well. Those are the ones who have gathered in their numbers right here. And they started from the commercial area of the KNUST, passed through the rural arts area towards the KNUST roundabout, and then passed through the roundabout closer to Unity Hall. And so it was on the peripheries of the campus itself, but not the campus itself. They went through and then came back. They are now at the commercial area, and we are yet to see what the leaders will say after the peaceful march.
Erastus, is interesting because it's TEWO, the local TEWO chapter at least, that we've been hearing from, particularly last week. But it's interesting that you say that they are not part of this demonstration.
It was UTAG and specifically the president, Professor Koko, who announced to me on camera that they were going to go on a massive demonstration together with their counterparts, TEWO, FUSAG, the University Administrators Association, that is GAWA. But what we are seeing here this morning are members of TEWO, and they comprise of the security personnel themselves who have an issue with the students, and some educational workers on campus as well. But what we are not seeing are the lecturers themselves who called this particular demonstration.
And Erastus, tell us what they are asking for. What are their demands?
Well, their demands are simple, the same issues that they've been raising all this while. They want the dissolved council restored immediately. They do not recognize the Interim Management Council. They also want the Vice Chancellor, Professor Obridanso, retained. And that's the major message they are giving out here. They call him Bosheba or Nyameba, and they want him to be retained. Many of them are saying he's a fantastic Vice Chancellor, and they will fight to the tooth to ensure that he is retained on his position. And so that is the major things they are saying right here. Initially, when they started talking about some of the issues that came up, the fact that students have spoken and they claim that the university security members are not up to standard and all that. They feel that they are an important part of the university. So government should also listen to their side of the story.
Erastus, I'm not sure if you've heard about news of the Vice Chancellor's, the Vice Chancellor of KNUST being asked to step aside. It's been rumored. Is this something that you've heard on campus this morning?
Well, that information started coming up right after the students' demonstration. In the midst of the demonstration, we heard those rumors. But personally, I met the Vice Chancellor at the administration block during that time when that news, rumor or report, some of which were on Star FM online, came up. I asked him personally whether he has resigned, and he said no. It won't happen. Those were the words. It won't happen. And so Yes, it started right from when they started the demonstration, and it's resurfacing as of now as well. Many of the people here have asked, including some of the administrators on campus, say they don't have any information to that effect. There is no communication to that effect. So for now, I have no confirmation that the Vice Chancellor has been asked to step aside.
Erastus, I wonder if you've seen the local UTAC president on site. Is he Mr. Foko?
I've been trying to see even some of the lecturers, members of UTAC, but so far I've not seen any. And I'm yet to see Professor Foko himself. He's the one who called for this demonstration, but he's conspicuously missing at this particular event. So far, all the people we are seeing, majority of them are members of KEU, local workers here, security men themselves, some women who work on campus, some educational workers as well. But the lecturers themselves who call this demonstration are not here.
So is this something that they intend to continue doing until their request, what they are asking for, is granted?
Well, if I go by what the chairman of KEU said initially before we departed for this peaceful march, I must say he was saying that they will continue to gather at the commercial area. They will continue to meet here every morning until their grievances are met. As to whether that will be followed through, we need to be monitoring from tomorrow.
Just before I let you go, Erastus, so is today's demonstration, is the exercise over?
Well, currently they have converged. They went through some streets. I would say the peripheries of the campus itself, not on campus itself, but passing through some streets and around it, and then they are back to where they started. That's the commercial area. They are yet to address the crowd, and then we'll disperse.
Are they presenting a petition to anybody in particular?
No, no, I've not cited any such petition. They did not go to the administration area. They passed through some streets and came back to the commercial area. I've not seen any sign of a petition. And so we are yet to see, and there are no administrators around. So we are yet to see if there is any petition, and same will be presented.
Erastus, we'll leave it here. Thank you very much. That's my colleague in the Ashanti region reporting for us on the campus of the KNUST, Erastus Asari Donko. Back in studio, still on this conversation, Haviba Minta is a one-man protester. His pictures have gone viral on social media. Also joining me is George Sapon, a former speaker of GRASAC. Good morning, gentlemen. You're still active student of the KNUST, correct? So
yes.
which year level?
I graduated in first year.
You have to speak up a bit for me.
Graduated in first year.
Your first year, okay. Yourself?
I'm a graduate student in my second year.
Okay. So what are your concerns, essentially?
You see, thanks for having us. But the worry is that what most people are saying outside is creates the impression that properties are more important than human lives. And that's what we want. That's the kind of narrative we want to change. Because brutalities on students have been going on for quite some time, and we didn't hear from anyone, not even the UTAG and TEU who are demonstrating. But now here we find ourselves in.
So what's your issue? Let's go step by step. What's your issue?
My issue is that the brutalities have gone on for quite a long time, and it was superintended by the Vice Chancellor. So he has been asked to step aside. What we need now is that the university should return to normalcy so that academic work can go on. That's what we want.
You might want to help us with some explanation when you say the brutalities have gone on for too long. What exactly are you talking about?
So first of all, good morning to everyone listening to us. And I think that the most important thing, like he mentioned, that we are looking for is for normalcy to return to KNUST, for academic exercise to begin, is for all interest parties to work together.
But that's why there's an interim board.
Yes, and that's why we supported them to be able to harness activities ongoing. Now, when you talk about the brutalities, all of these things happened because the powers that be decided to convert two main halls, University Hall and Unity Hall. When we were advocating for the fact that if there are accommodation challenges, we should rather go for having more accommodation facilities being built on campus to compensate for the gap. But then we were not listened to. They went ahead to convert it. Post-conversion, they felt that the only reason they could succeed with that policy was to make sure they trample on the rights of the students. So there have been clear cases of human rights violations. I can show you pictures. I'm sure you've seen many on social media. You've seen videos and all of that.
Of exactly what?
Students being brutalized. About 6 or 7 weeks ago, one Katanga Hall boy was beaten to the pulp by about 7 security men. He had haircuts, he had bruises all over his body. We talked about these things, nothing was done. And just on Friday, when students were having a morale session, you know how we do back in school, we sing Jama songs, drum, just to release the stress of academic exercises and the burden of having to read, remember, write exams, do all the lab works, all of that, you know. I mean, that's even a story for another day. And they wake up every morning and a new rule comes to pass. Now we heard members of the university community and the authority saying that they never banned morale activities, but everybody on campus knows that they sort of banned even almost every social gathering that involved these boys. So the boys go out to just sing Jama songs, raise morale and things like that, and security pounces on them, beats them. Even there's an account by an Angel FM reporter that his camera was seized and he was equally beaten. All of these things, nothing happened. And some of these boys were picked up, they landed in police cells for offenses we are yet to know. Their parents were there, they were in police cells for almost about 48 hours. Nothing was done. The hall masters and the hall mistresses who are supposed to be at the defending side of students who are equally members of UTAG, they stood aloof, they watched, they did virtually nothing. And today we hear that they are on the streets to demonstrate. What for? When the rights of people were being violated, where were they? Is it because they were not their kids? Is it because those lives didn't matter?
So I hear you say that you're not in favor of this demonstration that's ongoing right now as we speak.
Of course, UTAG shouldn't have even brought them first.
Workers. Yeah. Okay. So the point is that there's an interim board or council that's working. Yes. We've been hearing this morning that the Vice Chancellor has been asked to step aside. Yeah. I don't know if you've heard about this as well. Okay. Are you saying that you're not happy about all that is happening? Government is definitely doing something about your concerns.
The matter is that if you meet 100 students, I've said this time and time again, if you meet 100 students, about 60 of them will never meet the Vice Chancellor ever in their stay on the campus. And so who is Vice Chancellor? No one cares. What we want is that everybody should have his peace of mind to embark on the academic journey we are advancing.
Describe peace of mind.
Peace of mind is that when lecturers are intact, when lecture halls are intact, and when no one flouts on anybody's rights. Because over the years, over the times, over the months, the observation we've made is that security men don't care. They go and tell you that it won't go anywhere if I brutalize you. And that's how far the situation have gone. You see, we are running a system.
So I see you guys say, and this will not be the first time that we are concentrating on the violence, the pictures, the scenes of the damages that you guys caused on campus. We can't run away from it.
I think that point
so let me ask you. So let me ask you, how have you tried to let the rest of us know what had been happening to you on campus?
You see, but for social media, no one would have heard the plight of students. Consistently, I was protesting at social events.
Nobody cared.
Even when former President Jerry Rawlings came to KNUST the last time, I protested. Didn't the media hear this? Nobody cared, because the boy involved wasn't the son of a big man. Here we find ourselves. And if we don't protest now, the next time we come here, we'll be singing dirges, and no amount of grammar and reportage will bring back the person's life. And so let's stop it once and for all. That is why we are calling for normalcy. That's why we are expecting all major stakeholders to make sure that we all have our peace of mind, so that we can all finish school and go away. Imagine, the university has stalled for 3 weeks. It means that the academic year will have to be extended for 3 weeks. Graduation will have to come on in November. And so it has means that it's not coming off. Someone's life has been delayed. It's because we all didn't speak up when it mattered most. And so we are calling on all major stakeholders that now we have the opportunity. Let's call for reforms. Let's call for normalcy to restore. And let's make sure that all stakeholders get their peace of mind, so that, hey, the university runs.
You wanted to, there was something you wanted to say?
Yes, I mean, when it was about your question of what we mean when we say peace of mind. You see, if you're in an academic environment where a security man can violate your human rights and disrespect your human dignity and tell you that even when it's reported, it will go nowhere, that obviously isn't peace of mind. So
he was the one-man protester.
Yes.
What were you doing?
Personally, I am a writer, so that is the best available option to me. I have written articles published by Daily Graphic and your own My Joy Online and all of that, but the leadership pretended not to have seen it, just like they pretended not to have seen his protest. You know,
what are the channels? What are the channels on campus that if you're not happy about something, you can go through?
The thing is that
take me through.
Okay, so there are always processes that you go with things. When you have grievances, you are supposed to alert the appropriate protest through writing. We have submitted petitions, we have written letters and all of that. It would amaze you that most of the petitions, if not all, have not been responded to. We have embarked on 2 peaceful demonstrations, Kumasi and Accra. Nothing was done. So we have done what ought to be done. And the thing is that there has been blatant disrespect for the rights of the students. There's been blatant disrespect for the rule of law. For example, there have been situations where there are students who go out to study and all of that. They are supposed to be back to their house of residence by 10 p.m. because if they are not there by 10 p.m., the halls will be locked. As if we are in an SS where we have to observe lights out and all of that. Go to College of Architecture. Students have to stay in their studios as late as 2 a.m., 3 a.m., doing group works, doing things together, doing knowledge sharing and all of that. And all these distract academic activities. And we must speak to them. We must speak to the issues. And it is about time that we get to realize that the life of a student is really important. Let's assume without admitting, let's say the boy who almost died on Friday night was your son. How would you feel?
It was your brother.
Or let's say he was the son of the president.
How would he go?
What would have happened?
So I see you guys saying that because you think that you're not people coming from, like, quote unquote, a known place, nobody is listening to you. No, is that your interpretation of what has happened?
It is the reality.
That's the reality. It's not because you are thinking.
It's not the reality. There are 2 instances. First, it was one boy against 7 security men. We didn't hear from anyone. The last time, tasers were used on students. They were arrested. They were put behind bars for more than 24 hours.
Well, what do you see happening?
One of the sad things is that KNUST as a school even has a holding cell, which the URO has come out to deny. But we all know. That's how the president has confirmed. There's a holding cell where they keep supposedly recalcitrant students.
Where is this exactly?
At security checkpoint. Close to the tech hospital.
It's been there from time immemorial. It's
been there. And apart from the Ghana Police Service, who even has the audacity to hold somebody in a cell? And all these things, all these infringements on fundamental human rights are happening. We are talking about it. People are not listening. And they had to take a chaotic demonstration for people to actually see that students are suffering. And that is not fair.
And even when it happened, some Ghanaians were arguing in favor
of properties.
But you've had people condemn. There are a lot of people who say, we support your action, we condemn what the university authorities have done to you by way of not allowing you to be students on campus, but we absolutely condemn the violence.
Yeah, I think that we won't sit here.
You've heard that.
We won't sit here and say that we are happy property was destroyed. But the point we need to drum home is that human lives cannot be compared to property.
So we are where we are today. What do you see happening? Let's try and move on.
At this point, the most important thing we need is a stakeholder forum where students can come up, talk about all the issues that are happening, all the issues that led us to where we are now, so that together we can have amicable solutions to these things and make sure that these actions don't get repeated. Okay. We can have reforms and all of that. That is the way to go.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being here on News Desk.
Thanks for having us.
All right. There will be more as things continue to unfold and develop with this KNUST matter.